And he's afraid of going that way. He doesn't like the way the young man's talking about the older man because he's going to be that guy soon. All right. So he says, I wouldn't want to be that old. That old man, an old man is a nasty thing. Not always, it's the middle man. The old man is clean. He drinks without spilling. Even now, drunk, look at him. Okay, so he says, look at him. He drinks without spilling. Who spilled the wine? Who spilled the brandy? The young man, he got frustrated. Here, have some more. And the old man, even though he's deaf and he's a little drunk or anything, he says he still picks up his glass. That word that was before, dignity. He has dignity. Right? I don't want to look at him. I wish he would go home. He has no regard for those who must work. He doesn't work. He's just an old man that just stumbles around. I work. He doesn't care about me and how hard I work. He worked. He worked. He probably worked longer than the young man's been alive. The old man looked from his glass across the square, then over at the waiters. Another brandy, he said, pointing to his glass. The waiter was in a hurry, came over. Finished, he said. And now, this is kind of important. He said, speaking with that omission of syntax stupid people employ when talking to drunken people or foreigners. Okay? And what that is this. You okay?
I know those kind of, when you assume that people doesn't understand you when you're talking normal.
Exactly. You okay?
Yeah.
You okay? You okay? Me okay. We okay. Alright? No! You no! No, you! No, stop. Stop. No. Okay. It's the kind of talk we talk to animals and only older people.
A foreigner.
And foreign. Alright? And they're not saying this one, but there's another thing. When you raise your voice to people, and suddenly you're supposed to understand it more. So if I say something like this, hi, do you understand me? Do you understand me? Do you? Do you understand people? If you raise your voice for some reason, it's another thing. We kind of think that people will understand you more. Maybe it's clearer because it's louder or something. Okay? But no, that's the way I talk to my cat. Actually, my cat I talk to very nicely. Usually when he's just laying next to me, he's being a good little boy, I just say, oh, what a good little boy you are. How you doing? Oh, that's a fatty. You're a good guy. I talk to him kind of normal. Maybe like a little bit like baby. Not like that. But he does something bad. And he does a lot of bad things. He's young still, so he's doing lots of bad things. Gas. Stop. What? Stop it. Hey, stop it. And I talk to him like that, okay? And that's the way sometimes people, if they get angry at a foreigner, they talk to them like that too sometimes. And that's another thing you're going to have to put up with when you go to American universities sometimes. If they figure out you're not from America and your English isn't perfect or something like that, someone might get upset and speak to you like that. And you're just going to have what we call a thick skin. Just going to say, oh, he's an idiot, whatever. Walk away. It's the best thing you can do. Okay? Anyway, he talks to him like that, and he says, no more tonight. Close now. And this is another way. There's only one other person you talk to like this. A drunk person. Okay? But usually a combative drunk person. A drunk person who's fighting you. So a drunk, not fighting like this, but like, you go and you say, listen, come on, Uncle. Uncle, come on. It's time to go home. Oh my God. Hey, no. We're not talking. You don't argue with a drunk person. You never argue with a drunk person. It'll make no sense, first of all, and you'll never win. So you just tell the person, you, car, now, let's go. Okay? And that's what he's saying. Okay, that kind of talk, okay? And so he's saying that kind of thing, and this is a drunk old man. So he's talking to him like that. Finished. So he says, another, said the old man. No, finished. The waiter wiped the edge of the table with a towel and shook his head. The old man stood up, slowly counted the saucers. Have you ever eaten at those Japanese restaurants, like the sushi places where it goes around, and the different colored bowls, and it's different sizes, and at the end you keep all your bowls, and at the end they count up how many, and they say, okay, you've got 3 of these and 2 of these, that's, this many RMB, this many RMB, and that's how you figure out your bill. This is kind of the same place. Every time they came out, they gave him a different cup and saucer. Saucer is a little plate that goes under the cup, so every time we put another saucer. So at the end of the night, he can count the saucers, and he knows how much he owes. Okay? So he took a leather coin purse from his pocket and paid for the drinks, leaving half of a set to tip. So they left a little money as a tip. You know a tip, right? In case, so in the West we use that to give service people. Now he's giving this money to the waiter, basically. He doesn't really, I haven't seen him interact with the older man, the older waiter. But this is the young waiter who's told him to kill himself. That he's what else did he say to him? You're drunk. He said to him, and he's old and he's deaf, but he's not stupid. And he's drunk, but he has to have understood some of the negativity. And if this is the waiter that poured the extra stuff on purpose to spill it. He didn't get good service. There's no reason to leave a tip. But he still leaves a tip. He's got dignity. He doesn't have to behave like the young man. He's old enough to know what's going on with the young man. He doesn't care so much, but he's not going to be a bad guy. All right. The waiter watched him go down the street, a very old man walking unsteadily, but with dignity. He has head up. He might be stumbling a little bit because he's had a little drink, but he's still walking. Okay. Why didn't you let him stay and drink? The unhurried waiter asked. They were putting up the shutters. It's not 2:30. It's like there's still half an hour. I want to go home to bed. What is an hour? Yeah, what is the difference in an hour? More to me than to him. No, an hour is the same. You talk like an old man yourself. He can buy a bottle and drink it home. That's true. You could buy a bottle and drink it home. You guys could all buy coffee and not go to Starbucks. Why do you go to Starbucks? Oh, their coffee tastes so good. You wouldn't know if it was Starbucks or if it was a cup of coffee you bought from a store if I put it in 2 separate cups and I made them drink the same temperature and stuff like that. You really wouldn't know the difference that much if I put the same stuff. It would be cheaper too. Why do you go to Starbucks?
Because of the air conditioner.
Okay, that's a very practical reason because of the air conditioning is one. Okay, but also the environment, the people. You want to be seen. Other people want to be seen. You want to see other people. You want to sit there and do your homework in a comfortable place. You don't want to be at home and you're next to on your desk with just a cup of coffee. It's not glamorous, ladies. It's not glamorous. You go to Starbucks because it's fun. You go to Starbucks, you pay extra money. That's why you pay so much for coffee. It's ridiculous. That's why you pay so much for a lot of things at restaurants, because you want to go somewhere and have fun. You want to be in a good themed restaurant. You want to have good food and good coffee, of course. But you're also paying for all the lights and all the people and all the service. You want someone to come up and say, how will you like your coffee? Because otherwise you have to make it yourself. Okay, so he says here, he could just go home and he could buy a bottle and drink it home. It's not the same. And then finally the young waiter says, no, it's not. You're right. Agreed the waiter with the wife. He did not wish to be unjust. He was only in a hurry. So it's saying, like, the young guy really isn't a bad guy. He understands that really that, yeah, you're right. He's just in a hurry. He just wants what he wants. He doesn't have control yet. Does that make sense? And you have no fear of going home for your usual hours? Now, this is where the middle-aged man is making a joke for the young man. Are you trying to insult me? Okay, what is the middle guy saying to the young guy? Yeah, maybe. He says, aren't you afraid if you go home? What might be, he says, how does he say this? You have no fear of going home before your usual hour? Meaning, like, you get home at 2 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock, and there's another man there? Does that make sense? You've kept a conversation with him, and he says, are you trying to insult me? So then the young man gets really angry. You don't talk about my wife like that. My wife would know that kind of thing. And he says, no, Andre. Andre means kind of like friend. My friend. No, my friend. Only to make a joke. Come on, relax. No, the waiter who was in a hurry said, rising from pulling up down the metal shutters, I have confidence. I'm all confidence. My wife would never do that. Blah, 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 blah. Does that make sense? I have confidence. And he says, I'm all confidence. The middle-aged man says, you have youth, confidence, and a job. Okay? The older waiter said, you have everything. You have everything. Youth, confidence, and a job. You have all 3 things you need to succeed in life. And what do you lack? The young man asks him. He says, everything but work. What do you mean? You have everything I have. No. I have never had confidence, and I am not young. Come on, stop talking nonsense and lock up. I am of those, unlike those kind of people, who like to stay late at the cafe, the older waiter said. He's telling the young man, I'm like the old man. I'm becoming like him. I like staying later at the cafe. I like my job. I like working here. This is all I have. He says, the older waiter said, with all those who do not want to go to bed. Well, let's say cafe, the older waiter said, with all those who do not want to go to bed. I'm like all the people who don't want to go to sleep at this time. I I don't mind staying out with all those who need a light for the night. For the lonely people, the people who don't have a lot of people. I'm becoming that person. I kind of like places like this. I want to go home and go into bed, the young guy says. We are of two different kinds. We're two different kinds of people, the older leader said. He was now dressed to go home. It is not only a question of youth and confidence, although those things are very beautiful. It's wonderful that you're young and you're confident. Okay? Each night, I am reluctant to close up because there may be someone who needs the cafe. Not just this old man, but maybe somebody else out there, maybe someone like me, who needs a quiet, well-lit, clean place. Somewhere just to sit down. Maybe they're by themselves, but at least they have dignity. They have a place somewhere where someone will sit and will serve on them and give them a drink and treat them normally. Does that make sense? All right. And he says, Hombre, there are bodegas open all night long. My friend, there are bodegas, which are kind of like bars. There are places in the night that are open all night long where you can get all the drinks at once. They're not coffee houses. Does that make sense? So the young man says, you go to a bar. All right. You do not understand. This is a clean and pleasant cafe. It is well lighted. The light is very good. And also now, there are shadows on the leaves. He keeps talking about the leaves and the shadows. And this clean, well-lit place. A place of dignity. Good night, said the younger waiter. Good night, the other said. Turning off the electric light, he continued the conversation with himself. And this is where it gets weird, so we'll kind of go, this is the last part. Now he's starting to talk to himself. And he's trying to figure out, he's finishing the conversation. He's just trying to figure out what it is he actually means. It was the light, of course. So it was the light. The light made it special. But it is necessary that the place be clean and pleasant. Okay, so he's saying it is light, but it has to be clean, and it has to be a nice place to be at. You do not want music. No music. Certainly you do not want music. Okay, you want a nice, clean, quiet place. Dignified. It's almost like a church. Right? Nor can you stand before a bar with dignity, although that is all that is provided for these hours. If you go to a bar, you know what a bar is, right? If you go to a bar, he's saying, if you go to a bar my age, you can't go there with any dignity. You look stupid. And nobody's going to pay attention to you, and they're going to look at you. If they do look at you, they're going to think you're out of place. Think about me. When you're like 22 or something, you're going out on a date or something like that, and you guys are at a young person place, and I show up and I'm like hanging out there. What's that guy hanging out here for? It's bad enough that I'm a foreigner, right? Then I show up at some like young person place and I'm like hanging out. It'd be like, well, you guys go on, you might get away with this, but going into like the little kiddie play things at the mall. You know those little places where the little kids can climb up the things, or they do the jumping things, or the things with all the balls. If you jumped in there, a grown, like high school age student, if you jumped into that ball pit and started running around like the little kids, somebody's going to grab you and go, you shouldn't be here. I've got the money. I'm willing to pay. I'm sorry, you're too old. That's the same thing that's going to happen to me. They're not going to do that to me. They'll actually probably let me stay because they'll be too afraid to say anything to me. But if I show up to a bar like here, I can go out to bars. There's no problem. If I'm with people of my own age. But if I go by myself, if I'm lonely and I'm all by myself, and I show up at a bar, and it's all young people, and I'm sitting at a little table or at the bar itself by myself, people are going to feel so sad for me. There's no dignity in that. They're going to look over and go, why isn't he at home with his family? Or why isn't he asleep or something? He's an old person. He shouldn't be here. And that's what he's saying here. You can't go to a bar, like the young man said. The young man said, go to a bodega, which is like a bar. So you can't go to a bar. You don't, no dignity for you there. You can go to a cafe. I can go to a coffee house and people won't blink an eye. They'll think, oh, maybe he's a teacher. There's a lot of or something. Or maybe he's just here for a week. It's acceptable. All right. And he says, but that's all that you can get these hours, are bars and bodegas. Only places to drink that are undignified. You don't know what dignified day hours. And he says, what did he fear? It was not fear or dread. It was nothing that he knew too well. It was a nothing that he knew too well. He says, suddenly he's asking himself, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? What is this dignity thing all about? Why am I so afraid to become this old man? And he said, it's not really fear. I'm not afraid of becoming the old man. It's not even dread. Dread is even worse than fear. Dread is like, oh my God, The train's coming, it's going to hit me. Ah! It's not like that at all. I don't feel that at all. It's not like I wake up going, I'm going to be 80 years old. No, I don't feel that. It's nothing. It's the nothingness of becoming 80. It's I'm losing everything. I won't have anything. My wife will have died. My children will have forgotten me. People won't care for me. I'll have to do everything myself. All my friends will be dead if I get that old. That's what I'm afraid of, the nothingness that he knew too well. It was all a nothing, and a man was a nothing too. You're all nothing. You think you're something, but you're all made up of something. You're all nothing. At this point, life has convinced you that you're something. You've been given a name. You've been given a family. You have a history that's apparently yours. It's not yours. You're just an animal that has a good brain. And you trick yourself every morning into thinking that you're more than you are. And as you get older, you start to realize that you aren't as much as you are. And that you're not that special. Does that make sense? And when you get really old, like me, then you start to realize it's not so bad that you're not so special. It's actually okay. But you do still fear the next level. When you start to lose things, you can't hear, you can't see so well. I had that laser surgery in my eye. I want to fix my eyesight. I want to see without glasses. I want to feel young again a little bit. And it was worth 12,000 RMB for one eye. And I'm willing to pay that. Just to get that, because just to get a little bit back, maybe 10 years back ago when I was younger. Okay? I'm willing to do that because I'm still afraid of becoming 80. And I am hearing about my friends dying. And some of my friends are drifting away. And I do feel a little lonelier. Does that make sense? Okay? But don't buy into it. Be careful. Don't buy into it. You're not, just because you're on television, or just because you're mentioned in the WeChat group, or just because, I don't know, you scored a perfect score, doesn't mean you're good. It doesn't mean anything. It just means you scored a perfect score. You're still a human being. Okay? You can be satisfied with who you are. In any case, he's talking about nothingness. All right. A man was a nothing too. It was only that and light. It was all it needed and a certain cleanliness and order. It is now the man. The man has become it. All a man needs is a clean place, light, and a certain amount of order. He's saying basically to survive, you don't need all these other things. This is the scary part, is you don't need all these things. Love, affection, and things like that. Actually, to stay alive, all you need is light, water, food, basic things, simple things, order. Oh, yes.
And he's talking about the only principle that one individual needs is the principle of one individual itself.
Now, this is an interpretation of mine, okay, as I'm going along. This part right here is very controversial, so you can get different meanings from this, okay? But he's basically talking about how people are really nothing. And how scary that is. Kind of, yeah. She's getting into the deep philosophy. There's a guy, anyway, nihilism is a man who created a belief in basically nothing is worth anything. Does that make sense? That's a simple version of it. But he's hitting at that, but he's hitting at something basically simpler. That's something that a normal person, everybody that reads this would be able to understand. And what he does is he switches it to Spanish, because remember they're in Spain. And he starts to mock religion. And this is where it happens. And he says, some lived in it and never felt it, but he knew it was all nada. Okay, nada means what? Nothing. You looked it up? Did you look it up, or you just know it?
Yeah.
Okay. What does, look up pues, nada. What does pues mean? Look up in your dictionaries. Spanish, Chinese, whatever you want. What does P-U-E-S in Spanish mean? Just go to translate it. Baidu or something, Baidu translate. Just type in P-U-E-S and A-D-A. What does it mean?
Okay. So, just like because.
Because?
Yeah.
So?
Yeah.
What is the Chinese word? 英文. Okay, 英文. Okay, so he knew it was nada, y pues nada, y nada, y pues nada. Y means and. Nothing and more of nothing, nothing, so nothing. Okay, nothing, nothing. Everything starts to become nothing. And he says he knew it was all nothing and almost like nada y pues nada, pues nada. And then he goes in, and this is what's called the Lord's Prayer. It's a Christian prayer. It's considered by some of the most important prayer. You know what a prayer is, right? You know what a prayer is? It's what someone says to God when they do this with their hands in Christianity. And remember, this is in Spain, and he's talking about cafe in Spain, and this is kind of maybe his punch at the church. Okay, and he says, "Our nada who art in nada." It really should be "Our Father who art in heaven." It means God, our Father, the Father of everyone who's in heaven. But he's saying, "Our nothing who art in nothing." Our nada who art in nada. Nada be thy name. Thy kingdom nada. Thy will be nada, and nada as it is in nada. And in that prayer, you're saying basically, basically what people are saying, you are the king, everything you want you will get, you will be this, we will do everything for you. He's changing it to you get nothing, you are nothing, you mean nothing, 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 nothing. Okay? Give us this day our daily bread. Give us this nada, our daily nada, and nada, you are nada, as we nada are nadas, and nada is non to nada, but deliver us from nada. What's nada? Okay, this is all one big prayer. And he's just basically taken every word out that's important and put nothing in it. Give us nothing, you're nothing, 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 nothing. Hail nothing full of nothing. Nothing is with thee. He smiled and stood before a bar with a shining steam pressure coffee machine. So he found a bar. So he's been talking to himself this whole thing. And by the end of it, he's just going nothing, 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 nothing. He's walking around and around and around. And he's not, you know, when you think so much, you don't even know where you're at. And then suddenly, he just realizes, boom, he's at a bar, and there's a steam, nice big coffee machine behind the bar. And the barman says, "What's yours?" asks the barman. He says, "Nada." Barman says, "What?" The barman just wants to know, what do you want to drink? He says, "Nada. Otro locos más." Otro locos más. What does it mean? Yes, Spanish word. Mas means much. Locos means crazy. Otro loco más. Figure it out?
It's like another security guy.
Yeah, another crazy guy. He's like, he's a bartender. He sees drunk people. Ladies. He sees drunk people all the time. And he sees this guy walk up and he says, "What do you want to drink?" "Nothing." Crazy guy. And then the waiter goes, "Oh, a little cup. A little cup. A little cup."